If you are thinking coming to Canada and don't know where to go, then make sure you watch till the end to know what are the 10 spots you should visit in Canada. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Joy and today I'll talk about 10 spots you should visit in Canada. As you know, Canada is known for its beautiful nature, and the first one I'll talk about is Niagara Falls, which is in Ontario. Niagara Falls is at the border of Canada and US. Niagara Falls churns 7,500 bathtubs worth of water over it brings every second, making it the world's second largest waterfall by volume. It's not as high as Angel Falls nor as wide as Victoria Falls, but thanks to the Great Lakes that feed its much weather, Niagara Falls create a constant mist, a defining roar, and eternal rainbow that shifts between the two countries. The second one I'll talk about is the Banff National Park in Alberta. With alpine lakes as blue as Switzerland's and mountains to reveal the Matterhorn, there's no need to travel to Alps when you can have a Rocky Mountain high that makes you want to yodel in Canada. It's not just the scenery that conjures Switzerland, but Banff National Park's history too. Between 1899 and 1954, Canada's Pacific Railway recruited Swiss guides to work for its luxurious railway hotels, including the Banff Spring Hotel and Lake Louise. They guided first ascents of neighbor peaks, taught climbing techniques to newbie mountaineers, and led tourists on hikes and horse trips into Banff National Park. You can still join guided hikes at Lake Louise, such as the iconic trek up to the plain of 6 glaciers and an adorable alpine tea house built by the Swiss guide in 1924. The third one I'll talk about is Aurora Borealis, which is in Manitoba. Galileo named the northern lights after Aurora, the goddess of the dawn, and Boreas, the wind of the north. They appears as a dream in the middle of the night, a kaleidoscope of phosphorescent green, yellow, pink, and magenta that shimmers and dances across the sky in what can only be described as nature's firework display. Through the Aurora Borealis can be seen in many northern countries from Iceland to Russia. Churchill in Manitoba is considered one of the best places in the world to see the charged particles of light hitting the Earth's atmosphere, with best viewing between November and March. In the fall, the area is also known as the polar bear capital of the world. The fourth one I'll talk about the Cabot Trails in Nova Scotia. Considered one of North America's most scenic drives, the Cabot Trails winds 298 kilometers around Cape Breton, an island off the coast of Nova Scotia. It rolls over rounded hills and through luscious valleys and Cape Breton Highland National Park, often hugging the coast with dramatic views of the Atlantic Ocean and rugged beaches below. The next one I'll talk about the Great Bear Rainforest, which is in British Columbia. You won't find any anacondas creeping through the undergrowth here, but you may stumble across slugs the size of chocolate bars in the Great Bear Rainforest, also called the Amazon of the North. This 21 million acre protected coastal temperate rainforest in northern British Columbia, wow, with 1,000-year-old western red cedars, glacier cut, and rare sighting of the cream-colored Kermode or spirit bear, which is actually a black bear with a recessive gene that turns its coat almost white. You can also spot sea otters and orcas from a kayak or go with a guide to seek out the grizzly bear that congregate by coastal rivers to feast on coho during the salmon run every fall. By night, slumber in a remote lodge and listen for the eerie howl of grey wolves. The next one I'll talk about is the Northwest Passage in Nunavut. History and mistake merge along the dramatic water of Northwest Passage. For centuries, this fabled route, which connects the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean through the Arctic Ocean above Canada, attracted explorers looking for a shortcut to the reaches in Eastern Asia. The next one I'll talk about is the Columbian Icefield in Alberta. Glacier-capped peaks are strung like pearls along the length of the Icefields Parkway, a 232 kilometers between Lake Louise and Jasper that passes through 2 national parks in Canadian Rocky. The stars of the drive are of course the Columbia Icefields, as enormous glacial ice cap whose frozen blue tongues leak down between the rocky spire and are easily accessible for the road. It's the world's largest collection of glacier. There are more than 1,000 south of Arctic Circle. The next one is Nahanni National Park Reserve, which is in the Northwest Territories. This incredible landscape is one of the reasons people travel to Northwest Territories. The other is Raft the South Nahanni, a Canadian heritage river with rapid, a riverside hot spring, a waterfall twice the height of Niagara Falls, chance to see wildlife such as bear, caribou, and Dall sheep. Add in the towering jagged peaks that mark circuit of the unclimbables, and you will want to add the Nahanni to your bucket list. And the next one is Gros Morne National Park in Newfoundland. One of Canada's most iconic views is from the top of Western Brook Pond Forge in Newfoundland. Grazing out, you will see flat-top mountain slopes into green-robbed cliffs that dramatically meet the sea. It looks just like the Trolltunga, Norway's Instagrammable fold, minus the rock outcrop for dangerous selfies and grueling 12 hours hike to get there. And the last one is Canadian Badland in Alberta. Near Drumheller Flat Barrier abruptly gives way to surreal landscape of erosion-carved valleys called Colues and whimsical Cape Rock formation called Hoodoos. The region is known as the Badlands, so named by the French trapper who stumbled across similar geography in South Dakota and found themselves lost in dead-end box canyons. They began referring to that area as Massive Terrors or Traverser, which translates to Badland to cross. The name stuck. These are the top 10 places you must visit if you are planning to come to Canada. If the video was helpful, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Peace.